All eyes are on the turnaround over at Starbucks. The new CEO leading that charge joins Yahoo Finance now. Starbucks Chairman and CEO Brian Niccol. Brian, good to see you. Of course, our very own Brooke DiPalma, senior reporter, is here as well. Good to see you, Brian. Thanks for taking some time out of your busy schedule. So we were, of course, avid listeners to your most recent earnings call. You laid out a lot of key initiatives, bringing back the condiment station. That is good. We're getting rid of the upcharge for non-milk options. Good stuff. My question to you is, what is the turnaround timeline for the Starbucks U.S. business?
Yeah, well, great to be with you guys. And obviously, we are changing the strategy to get back to Starbucks and obviously turn the business around. I think if we focus on a couple of the key fundamentals that I talked about, you'll see us make progress, kind of every month, every quarter against getting this business turned around. And, kind of what I shared in the earnings call is what I'll share with you guys is I plan on sharing how we're progressing, what we're working on, and how we're improving the business. And, kind of those key highlights are, obviously, we got to get people moving through our stores at the speed at which they want to experience Starbucks, right? So if you come into the store, in cafe, we're going to focus on getting you your drink, your order, within less than 4 minutes. We want to bring some order to the mobile order experience. That's really important to us. And then obviously the drive-through experience, we want to continue to deliver that with great speed. So, we have to fix the parameters around how we get the operating experience to match the customer experience, which is what they want from us. And then there's a few other things coming down the pike as well, which I touched on, right? We want to make sure we've got the right staffing in the stores, supporting our partners correctly with the right tools, the right equipment, so they can deliver on that throughput with great craft, great quality, and a great human touch. I'm actually surprised how much this has gotten picked up, the fact that we're bringing the Sharpies back. That's just an example of how, we're going to empower our partners, our baristas, to put that human touch back into that experience with the craft products that they're building for every single customer, every single time. Obviously, we want to reclaim the store experience, get back to a great coffee house vibe, that feeling where, you want to stay, it's welcoming, it's inviting. So that's a key piece of the puzzle. And then obviously we're going to do some work on the pricing architecture as well. So we'll be knocking down those things over the coming weeks, coming months. And I do believe it will get us back to Starbucks. And you probably have seen some of the most recent things, right? We're already on television, reintroducing people to the commitment we have to coffee, the craftsmanship that's behind coffee. You probably just recently saw our announcement about no charge for alt dairy milk. That's ended up becoming our #1 social posting, which is great to see. And then obviously the news that we're bringing back the coffee condiment bar here in the coming months too. So I think we're making progress on the things that we can do quickly, but with an eye towards how we get back to Starbucks and turn this business around permanently.
Brian, lots of my friends shared that video that you guys posted online. I'm curious, what key indicators are you watching to assess this U.S. turnaround? Is it foot traffic or is it same-store sales?
Yeah, look, obviously, I would love to see the foot traffic start to turn around to drive that same-store sales growth. And, that's going to be a key piece of the puzzle for us going forward. I know there is plenty of capacity in the business to deliver traffic growth, to drive that same-store sales growth. And that's what we're focused on as an organization. We want to give people the customer experience, the brand experience that results in them coming to Starbucks every single time for their drink occasion and hopefully that breakfast morning occasion. We want to win the morning, and then obviously we'll grow the business from there.
Brian, I know you teased to remodeling, a lot of Starbucks stores, but for those stores in the U.S. that are not up to snuff, are you just going to close them? How many opportunities are there to close underperforming Starbucks stores in the U.S.?
Fortunately, the economics of Starbucks looks really great. And so, the economic model is still very powerful despite this tough sales environment that we're in right now. So that's what gives me the confidence that we can invest in the business accordingly and get these stores turned around. And where we need to invest in a renovation or a remodel, we have the capital, we have the balance sheet, and frankly, we have the P&L that supports making that investment to getting the third place, getting that coffee house experience back. Obviously, we're always evaluating the portfolio. If the trade area has moved on us or for whatever reason the store is not performing, the good news is we have the wherewithal to close it and then open in the right trade area or with the right experience so that customers will really enjoy being at Starbucks for every single occasion.
Brian, you mentioned tools and equipment that you plan to implement in stores to help employees. I'm curious, how fractured is the relationship between Starbucks corporate and employees at the store level, and how do you plan to invest to build back that relationship?
Yeah, look, I will tell you, my first, call it 60 days here, what I've actually experienced going to our stores and spending time with our partners in store, the folks that wear the green apron really do provide that experience for our customers every day. They are hugely passionate about Starbucks. They're hugely passionate about the craft of making terrific coffee drinks. And I think the feedback I got from our partners was, look, we just need to get back to making great coffee, make it easy for our customers to get to coffee, make it easy for us to, move the products between mobile order and in cafe. These are some of the big things that came back to me right away. And then obviously there was a desire to simplify some of the menu, which, look, all of those points I agree with. And, the thing I love about all of it is it's centered on giving the customer a great experience so that they fall in love with Starbucks every single time. The other thing that I committed to doing is I want to promote from within. I want 90% or better of the jobs that are created at Starbucks to go to existing partners. And the reason why that's so important is I think our folks should be the ones that benefit from our growth, both professionally and personally. And I think Starbucks has always done a great job of surrounding our partners with terrific benefits, terrific, personal growth opportunities. I want to match that with professional development opportunities. So I got a really positive response from that one as well. So I think the combination of let's make sure we deliver a great customer experience every single time. Let's give them the tools, the training, the menu so that they can execute it with excellence. And then let's commit to developing each other so that as the company grows, people can grow with the company.
And of course, Brian, a lot of that great work you did over at Chipotle. I wrote about it, I've talked to you about it, promoting from within. It's been a key secret to success for Chipotle. But at the end of the day, does the Starbucks worker just need a bigger paycheck and more clarity on scheduling and how their life may work out from a work perspective week to week?
Yeah, look, I think actually we've made a lot of progress on this front. The turnover at Starbucks is pretty remarkable. It's in the 50% range, which, if you look at a lot of the companies at our scale, the turnover is more in the 100 to 130% range. So I think we've made a lot of great progress on getting our partners the hours and the schedule that they believe they need in order to be a impactful partner, both for their personal lives as well as how they want to grow professionally. I do think we have an opportunity on how we then staff the stores, ensuring that we've got the right number of partners deployed correctly for, obviously our morning peak as well as those shoulder hours. You're going to see us starting to test and invest in that area. Most recently, we just added additional labor to about 3,000 stores, and we're getting ready to pilot some additional work on ensuring that our partners are set up for success to give a customer a great drink, right, in less than 4 minutes in store with that kind of marquee moment. I'm calling it the moment of truth, where we hand you that drink, you see the grand apron, your coffee's coming right to you. We got to make sure we are set up so that our partners can execute that way. And that means obviously we got to have the right algorithm to support mobile order, as well as the right tools to support drive-through while we do this. But look, I'm optimistic that we're going to be able to get our partners a great work experience, because I think ultimately that will drive a great customer experience. And I'm committed to doing both.
Brian, I do quickly want to hit on the China market. I know you're set out for a trip in just a few weeks. What do you expect to learn from there? Will you also explore a strategic partner? And we've seen growth, soar growth there in quarter over quarter. Is there come a point where you pause the growth in that market?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to my trip coming up. A lot has changed in China since the last time I was there for a visit. And obviously, the competitive environment has changed pretty dramatically just in the last couple of years. The macro environment is very different than it probably has been historically. And then, obviously, we now have over 7,000 Starbucks in China. So the good news is I believe there's still tremendous growth, both in the coffee category and then the positioning in the space that Starbucks plays in for the long term. I do believe we have to figure out what is the best approach for us to capture the growth that is coming, I think, in the future. And that's what we're evaluating, and that's what I've alluded to as it relates to taking a look at strategic partnerships. And I've looked at examples of how other multinational companies have successfully grown and built powerful, iconic brands in China. And that's what we want to ultimately do for Starbucks is build on the success that we've had to date and then figure out how we continue to make Starbucks this iconic coffee experience that grows, frankly, the coffee category and builds this idea of community, builds this idea of craft. And I think the Chinese consumer will really be excited about being a part of the Starbucks business if we're successful in doing that. So really excited about getting over to China, being with the team, seeing our stores. Some of the buildings that I've seen are just beautiful, right? The roastery over there. So I think we're doing it right. I just think we got to figure out what is the right approach to grow from here.
Brian, it feels like yesterday. I still remember day one when you started at Chipotle. I remember covering it. But one of the first things you did there is you moved the company's headquarters. How committed are you to Seattle? Some folks that I've talked to on the street have suggested that Starbucks would benefit from leaving Seattle, be perceived as less of a political brand. Have you had any thoughts about doing that and what it would mean to a company like Starbucks?
That right now is not on the list of things to do. One of the things that is on my list is making sure that Starbucks gets back to making great coffee, giving great partner experiences and great customer experiences. And look, we got to make sure we've got a great culture at the Seattle Support Center, our New York Support Center, our Chicago Support Center. So we need to make sure those cultures are set up to support what's happening in all of our stores. And that's what I'm focused on is how do we make sure we get back to Starbucks in the stores, and then we get a focus with our culture, our collaboration, the work that we have in these support centers to supporting how we get back to Starbucks in every single one of our stores.
Fair enough, Brian. You're leaving egg bites on the menu, right?
Yeah. Oh, of course. I love the egg bites. I might have had some this morning.
Okay, fair enough. All right, Brian Niccol, great to get some time with you. Starbucks Chairman and CEO, good to see you. Good luck on your CEO journey at the company. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, take care, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much. All right, do stick around. Much more ahead on Yahoo Finance.